Okay, looks like we got it. Alright, what's our start time? Our start time locally is 14:25. So we might as well get going here. Creative modes. Alrighty. So everything's still here. And let's see, we're in the insect phase, working towards breathable atmosphere. Of course, my game is on creative mode, so I've already got it and have had breathable atmosphere from the very beginning. But if you're playing a normal game, you'll be working through the insect phase. So let's see, first we check power, looks like adequate. And we will look to see what's unlocked. Nothing new there. And nothing new there, from what I could tell. Alright, let's go. Let's see, we gotta go upstairs, don't we? Yeah, here we go. Alright, now let's see. If we want to start making the bee larva, which is normal, we gotta have uncommon larva, mutagen, and fertilizer. So the first thing we would want to do is set up for uncommon larva. We've already set this up for mutagen. Might as well put this. Did I spell it right? Oh, we've got some stuff we haven't put. Mutagen. Oh, I didn't spell it right, did I? I got mugagen. Alright, so we click here. Click right there between the G and the A, backspace, and put a T in there. Then we go inside, we look at the first one, and yep, looks like we got it spelled right now. Now we need, so we've got 2 of them for that. In fact, we might want to put a label on this side too. And it looks like that's as high as we go. Let's see, mutagen. Alrighty. I think I want to keep this path open. So we would go here, and we would start putting in some more storage. And we want a little bit of space between them, like so. And then put in another one. Always do these in pairs. And no space between them. There we go. Line the bottoms up. And what should I put in this locker set? I think I want to leave a path right through here. Well, I could put one more set in first, I guess. Alright, back it up a little bit more. There we go. Now we'd put it in where there's no... there we go. And I haven't decided what I'm going to put in there yet, but we'll go ahead and put these signs up here. That's probably about as tall as I get. Alright, then I'll leave this path open. And I think I could get, well, it'd be kind of tight though if I do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be getting kind of tight if I put another pair right in here, because it'd probably go all the way up to here. Yeah, that would make it kind of hard to get past. Alright, so I think what I should do instead... no, I don't think I want to put another one there. Okay, so this one is dedicated to doing the tree thing. Yeah. But we might want to change that and dedicate it for this operation here. And the kind of things I need up here is basic fertilizer and mutagen and the larvas, common or otherwise. So I guess I'm going to have to expand this. Yeah, I'm going to have to expand this. Put another 2x2 up here. So you would have to go collect the resources first, but since I'm doing creative mode, I could just attach it. And we attached it slightly to the side. So if we put a window in here, I don't think we could have got it any tighter than that. Yeah, because see, I think we're actually, well, we may not be touching, but we're very, very close. I don't think we could go any further over than that. In fact, I might want to take this one out right here. Yeah, and just use the two of them. But then again, I could put one right up here, but that would really cut down my space. So I'll just go with two. Or we could transfer the whole operation over to this one. Yeah, because I'd want to put the different kind of mutagens, 2 and 3 and maybe even 4 up here. It would be pretty painless to go ahead and transfer all this. And put it, well, we'll start in the corner. Well, let's put a window in first. Yeah, we could put another 2x2 right off of that one. Can't put one off of this one. Yeah, we couldn't put anything else off of here. We've got things kind of jammed together pretty good already. But we could put another one right off of this one, couldn't we? Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let's put a window over here first and kind of get an idea what we're working with here. Okay, I don't see any restrictions on expansion. Yeah, I think I will. I'll go ahead and put the oh, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Right there. Let's see, how many incubators can we squeeze in here? That's as far over as I could go with it. And that looks to be as far back as I could go with it. So let's do another one. Right beside it. Uh-oh. I have to go more forward with it. Yeah, now let's match that one up there. And that looks pretty good actually. So we can make 2 of whatever we need at a time. Even though I like to have 3 of these, that'll get me by. Then we can use this room here basically for more of these. So let's see, this one would be T2 mute gin, and then this one would be T3 mute gin, and at some point we would want to add probably a T4 if we actually need T4 for anything. Let's see, do I see any T4 in here? There's T2. Yeah, there's T4 right there. Rare. If we want to make our own rare, but there's T3. Yeah, there's some more T4 right there. So we definitely have a need for T4 up here. So let's try it. Let's try and get one in here. So see, that's facing the right direction, and we would want it to right up like so, where it just barely turns yellow. And the bottom looks like it's aligned properly with the rest of them, but I don't know that I can actually put a pair there. I guess I could try it. Whoops, turn it the other way. Yeah, we can still get through there. But come to think of it, I don't think I would ever actually use that much T4. But we'll figure that we might. We might as well prepare for it, just in case. So this one would be the T4 mute gin that we might need. One locker full at some point. That does suggest I might be able to get another pair right in here. Or something where we only need one locker for. Alright, so we would want to face this way. And then we would want to line it up with the rest of them. Bring it back until it just barely turns yellow. And we'll go ahead and try it, I guess. Now we don't want any space between them. So we back up one more. Look at the bottom, that looks good. Oh, we can get through there. It's kind of narrow, but we can get through there. Alright, so now let's give it a sign. We don't know what we're going to stick in there just yet. In fact, that one there actually looks a little bit wider, doesn't it? That's very narrow, but we're getting through there okay, so. Let's see. I do like the idea of leaving this view open, not covering it up with lockers. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up taking out these 2 windows and putting another 2x2 out there. I kind of also like the idea of putting another window in right there, even though some of it's covered up with. And we might even put another 2x2 right even with this one, which might be a little difficult to do from the inside because it would like to hang it off to the edge like it did over here. See where it's got it hanging off the edge? Since I was pointing at this opening right here instead of right here when I added that. Of course, if I want to change that, then I have to take all this down and then add the 2x2 while I'm staring at this piece of wall right here, and that would center everything up. But we do have a lot of space out there not being used. I think I kind of like the idea of leaving this. Yeah. If I added another 2x2, I'd have to add it from this point here. Because I don't think I can add it from while staring right there from the inside. Because this would be in the way. It would try to shift over too far. Yeah. I will go with that. Now I could put some 1x1s right in there to kind of even things up. If I felt like, you know, that was important at some point. Alright, so we know that we need mutagen, and did we need basic bacteria for anything? No, I've not seen basic bacteria, just the stuff that we're not collecting yet. Photoplankton, or is that phytoplankton? I guess it would be pronounced. Oh, there is simple bacteria, and that's going to be an important one, so that we get the silkworms going, make fabric. Yep, so we better go ahead and label this one bacteria sample. And then somewhere along here we want another row like this one here. In fact, I kind of like the idea of leaving a walkway in here. I don't know that we can do a better job of what we've already got here. Yeah, I need to leave a walkway all the way through here, so I could get to either side of these storages. So what we would have to do is use the ones we have. And see, what would be an adequate walkway? Or we would just rather go all the way over like that. No, I think we want to do it this way. So let's see, just barely turn yellow. And it looks like that's enough space. Let's put another one in. Try again. Turn it all the way around. Make sure we're not, well, let's go from this side, I guess. Make sure we got it nice and tight. Like, whoops, we got a space here. We need to close off that space. There we go. And yeah, it looks like it's enough space. So we would just make another row, kind of mimicking what we've already got here. Of course, that will cover up some of the window, unless we don't put these two in when we get to this point. I guess we really wouldn't have to leave, well, yeah, because otherwise we'd have to walk all the way down and then come across like that. So yeah, let's leave this open, because we're going to need somewhere to put the phytoplankton. So turn it around like so. Try to match it up. Over a little bit more. Let's see, how does that work? Does that kind of match things up? Or did we actually go a little bit wider that time? We don't want to go wider because that would mess up going through here. So get our bearings here, and we don't want it overhanging this blue strip right here. So let's try this again. Turn it around, and let's see. Huh, why does it turn yellow there? I think I went a little too far back. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be there. Alright, how's that look? Oh, we did go forward slightly, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We could still get through there though. But it definitely looks like we went forward. So let's do that again. And this time we'll go ahead and bring it. Of course, I guess we wouldn't have to turn it that way, could we? We could turn it this way. Alright, so that's as close as we got. If we look at the other one that's up there, you see how it's kind of right about there. Comparing it with the other one. The holes in the floor there. Yeah, we can still get through there pretty good. The alignment looks pretty good. It does kind of make sense to go ahead and switch them around. Alright, and then we gotta back it up until the gap disappears. Like so. Yeah, I like that. I like it. I think that's in fact, I wouldn't even, think it would be a bad idea to turn these around. Yeah, I like that idea. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's turn these around. So we want to be facing like so when we put them in. Since they always like to come in facing you. And we better go to this side because we need to look at the holes in the floor and put it until it turns yellow. One more maybe. There it goes right there. Yeah, that looks pretty decent actually. Okay, then we want to put another one in there. We gotta be facing like this first. Okay, now we put it in there. And then we want to back it up until the gap disappears. Yeah, putting the bump against the wall I think makes sense. And it actually opens up this a little bit. Because as you can see, you can still see the bump of that one sticking out into the walkway just a little bit. So it would make sense to go ahead and turn these around too. And then maybe I should turn these around. So the bump is not into the walkway. It's back here somewhere. Yeah, I like that idea. I think it looks better that way. Okay, so I need to be facing this way. And then we need to look at our alignments. So let's see, we need the alignment right about there. And move it forward just a little bit. How's that look? Yeah, see, that looks pretty impressive right there. Once we turn this set around, it'll look even better so that it matches this pair. Alright, so we need to be facing this way. and then put this in until that little space there disappears. And hopefully we got the bottoms aligned. Yep. That looks real good. And then we would just be mimicking what we've got right here. So let's go ahead and get all this turned around. And we want to be facing this way when we put it in. Now let's see, we want to be overlapping the blue strip there just a little bit. Back it up until it turns yellow the first time. And then put one, whoops, we gotta be facing this way first. And then back it up until the gap disappears and the bottoms line up. There we go. Now that looks a little better. And it looks like everything is lined up real good. Now I'm debating if I want to turn this last pair around. It would look better, I think. And I might even gain a little bit of space. Let's try it. Oh, we've got something in there. Yeah, we sure did. Alright, let's get these turned around. So we want to be facing this way. And we want to back these up so that there's just a small space between. Nope, not too far. There we go, like so. The bottom looks okay. Yep, bottoms look like they're lined up alright. Now we want to go ahead and put the other one in. And I'll have to use the R or the T key. Back it up until no space. The bottom looks okay. It looks like they've got a little extra space there, but we can get through there. I don't know if we lost any space or not, but I guess it really doesn't matter. We might have a little bit more. Yeah, that gap should have been looking more like this one. So we've got a little extra gap there than we need. But anyway, it looks like we've got it pretty well the way we want it. And that would be the basic first level mutagen. And normally we put it in the first locker to our left. If we're on this side, it'd be that one. If we're on this side, it'd be this first one. Okay. Yeah, we could have backed it up maybe a little bit more, but not much. Because when you turn them around like that, the gap options and changes a little bit. So this one looks nice and wide. This one looks a little bit more narrow, but it's okay. Alright, let's see. Yeah, we got some more ready. I thought we was putting that right here. Huh. Maybe not. Well, we changed. Oh, I know what it was. We changed all of our tree making process downstairs, didn't we? That's butterfly. But I think we put our tree bark down here somewhere. Seed, vine, seed, flower, tree bark. There it is, right there. Yeah, we changed all that downstairs. because this is where we make our trees. Okay, they're not all opened yet, so, and we know we need tree seeds, but I don't think we would ever have them in here for storage. So maybe we should be putting the tree bark in this one, because when we make trees we would want to go ahead and put them out, and we would keep the vine plants in here primarily so that we could make trees. We don't have any in here right now. And the flower seeds we would go ahead and put in here so that we can make various kinds of trees. Not all of these will make trees, but most of them will. Yeah, you know, that makes more sense. Which trade this change this one. Keep the word tree, click right there, then backspace. And we will be tree. Now we'll click right here, spacebar, bark. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. There's no need to keep tree seeds in here. Good, we got them all. So we'll use that one for something else. So we'll just click on it, backspace, enter. And then we'll put all these in here. Yep. That looks pretty good. In fact, that's probably all we need, isn't it? Is there anything else? Oh, we need photoplankton A. Only when we want to make lerma seed, and we will want to make a lot of that. Primarily because you can hang it off when you get that option, when you get the vine option. You could make those and hang them off and basically cover up all your windows and sides of your buildings to provide oxygen. So even though the windows are no curtains or anything, eventually we could go to the outside and or you could hang them on the inside, I guess, too, but I don't know. Growing vines in the inside, I don't think that would be, logical. And we still got some more space. We could put another 2x2. And I think we've got room. It wouldn't touch this at all. If we want to make our base bigger, not a problem. We couldn't expand off of here, but we might be able to expand off of right there. Yeah. Expanding off of here might be a little tricky. If we're inside the building and we tell it to add a 2x2, because it might touch that building and not be allowed. In fact, we can test that right now. Let's go up here and get the 2x2. No, it won't touch. So it would be allowed. If we did that, we might not be able to get another 2x2 in there. It depends on what's on the other side of this. Oh, there's nothing on the outside. So yeah, that would work. But this is a 2x2, so eventually we would get off a little bit. We wouldn't be all nice and square. Okay. Let's see, we started this at 2:25, so we still got a good 25 minutes to go. So, did we unlock anything while we were over doing all that gabbing? No, water filter. I don't think we did the water filter yet. We did that, but I don't believe I did the water filter yet. Let's see. Tab key. Now there's the air filter. Yeah, we didn't. We unlocked the water filter. So I think that's right here, isn't it? I'm not seeing it. Is my eyes not focusing right or something? Because I thought that's where the water filter was. I guess not. It must be in the better crafting station. And we put that upstairs, didn't we? Yeah, right there. I think they call this an advanced crafting station, don't they? Let's find it. Yeah, right there. Yep, advanced crafting station. So we should find it in here unlocked. And there it is right there. And we can either craft or we've found enough fabric to get by, I think, because we only need one. I've got like 4 or 5 of them out there. Oh, it's going to use up an aluminum and a silicone that I've got actually in my inventory. Well, I'm not short of either one because it won't give me nothing back in this creative mode. But I don't think I would miss it, so we'll just go ahead and do it. There we go. Now the first time, of course, it always goes over here, so you gotta left click. Now if you're doing the upgrade, then it'll automatically upgrade, and we'll go into slot. Alright, we're already organized. Does it ever tell us that we can do? I don't think it does. Whoops. I want to go down right here. Why is everything looking dark? Did we kill our power by chance? No, I see everything's turning. So maybe it's just nighttime. Yeah, I don't see anything. Those look normal. The green fusion generators. The heaters are turning. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe just the light effect because it's dark. Alright, now let's see. What I want to do now is see if by chance it ever tells us when we can update our torch. When does that unlock? Of course, we might call it a headlamp or a flashlight. You know, I don't think I ever saw it in this list. There's another screen. Yeah, I don't think it tells us. It wouldn't be under plants for sure. That wouldn't, well, maybe it would be because they got heaters and everything else here. We got insect spreader rockets. We've got the T2 aquarium. So there are quite a few things up here. The only thing I'm not seeing is unlocking the option to do the better torch. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. Now, in your case, if you're playing a normal game, you would just go over here. Well, actually upstairs. You would just go here and look and see if it unlocked. But since I'm in creative mode and I've played all through the game, it's not going to do that. So we would have to go back downstairs and go to this machine and see if we have this one unlocked. And if we do, then we would trade in the first level torch, and we would have to have aluminum, magnesium, sulfur in our inventory, our avatar's inventory, and then we click there and boom, we would now have a better torch, and it would automatically go since right here in this slot, since it's an upgrade. And I'm going to assume that we've gotten pretty far. Now we won't have this one yet because we haven't bothered to collect any solar quartz, and we don't have anything that's requiring solar quartz. But this mining speed thing, we might be up to this one by now. It's not lighting up. Do we have the T1 in our inventory? Well, I'll be darned, we don't. So we'd have to do the T1 first. And then we want to transfer it over, organize it, and now we go ahead and do the 2, and I'm guessing we would be able to do the 3 also by now. Alright, what else? We've already done the first one. See how it lights up? So by now we might be able to do the second one if we were playing a normal game. Not so sure about this one though, and I don't think we would have this one though because we haven't sent up the rockets yet. None of these would make any difference. T1. What do we have in our backpack so far? In the way of, we've got a T3 already. So we're not going to find anything higher than T3, are we? No, we're not. Alright, how about exoskeletons? What do we got there? We're all the way up to T3. Okay, so we stopped there. Yeah, I don't think T4 would be unlocked yet because it needs the blazer quartz and it needs the circuit boards. And we have not unlocked the circuit boards yet. Did we do this one? T1 agility boots? Yeah, we did. We've got T1. Alright, what does T2 need? It's just fabric. Now there's a chance it would not unlock yet if we were playing a standard game because of the fabric requirement. See, I've already went all the way through these. So I'm thinking we might be current right now. Yeah, I think we might, because until we get through all of those, there's no reason for us to go upstairs and do the advanced crafting station. Now, what were we going to do with this room? We went in and put the walls up so we wouldn't be looking at the sides of the storage cabinets. And we went in and put this up since we've got an entrance so we wouldn't have to look at these. Let's see, we did not unlock the farms yet, so we can start putting all this outside. What could we have unlocked by now? We already did that. Well, we haven't put any of those out, but they're not all that great. We've got better. If we did put them out, we would probably put them out here like this. Alright, let's find them again. Would they be down here in decorations? There we go, right there. We would probably put them like right here on both sides of this. About like so, center it up as best you can, and then we'd have some plants growing out of there, and then these would suck in the perfume from the nectar smell from the plants that we have there. Well, let's just do it. Let's just go ahead and do it. We've got some flowers that are kind of low quality, aren't they? Vines, flowers, there we go. You could put just about anything in there. See, these are only 150s, but they would look kind of nice out there. Oh, wait a minute. While we're doing this, let's put away these seed packs. We've got some squash seed packs, and I remember we're already working on the second locker. Let's see, we don't have anywhere for uranium up here, but I think we do have something for the bacteria sample. Yeah, right here. Okay. I don't really need to or really want to be carrying anything in my inventory when I'm messing around with this game, because it'll gobble it up and give nothing back later. And that'll give us a little nicer looking entrance. But see, the growth speed's only 2. It's not very good. The oxygen it provides is only a +5 per second. And if we look out here, we've actually got better in these. See, the growth speed is a 5, and it provides oxygen of 13 per second. So it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to use those unless you want to put them up there as a decoration. Of course, we might put those up there, but I don't know if I'd call those decoration quality. Nah, I don't think I would. Whereas these might actually give a decoration quality. And you can put these on the inside or the outside. It's going to take a while, since the growth speed's only 2, for those to be fully bloomed. And they'll stay bloomed. I am tempted to start moving all these over here, but I'm not playing a standard game. I'm playing the creative mode. So it would seem like a waste of time. Now, if I was playing a standard game, I would want more of these growing, and I would want to use the T2 growth food growers, because they grow faster. And I would line this wall right up here with T2, leave an opening there and an opening there, maybe one. I might not leave one in the middle, or I might not leave an opening. Well, I'll just demonstrate, since it's not really going to cost me anything to do this. Alright, let's find the T2 growth food growers. There we go, right here. We've got these unlocked now. So we would put a bunch of these across here like this. Oop. Put them up against the wall as tight as we can, because we really wouldn't have much of a choice. It's gonna be a while before we could do the farm plots, so we can have more and less space faster, like so. And then we would this whole row would probably be eggplant, and then we would want to go like this here, and using this center thing and using that strip right there as a guide. And which way you're facing makes a big difference on these arrows. So maybe back it up just a hair. How's that look? Oh no, that's too much. That's too much. Alright, so we would want it to go probably I think slightly forward, because we want to get another one right here on the other side of this one. And we can only push it back so far. And that should look, well, I guess I don't have to push it back that far, because see how this one's lined up here? We would want the same thing on this one, just for visual appearance sake. It's not going to make any difference on how well these perform. So maybe back a little bit. That's pretty much where it was. Yeah, that's pretty much where it was. So try that again. Alright, so that would be, yeah, see now they're not actually touching, but the space, how much of this strip they conquer or are placing is the same. And yeah, that gives a nice wide aisle. So that's not a bad arrangement there. And then of course we would keep that up, you know, facing this way to go across. Until we get to the center section, I would want to leave the center section open so I could get, you know, through here no problem. Now, if for some reason we wanted to get in more of these in here and make this place look a little more claustrophobic, we would move this further up, and we wouldn't worry so much about being able to see out the window. And then I'd do the same thing here. I would, just like we did there, we would do the same thing here. But notice that we're overhanging this strip a little bit, so we would be overhanging this strip, but it would not actually interfere with us getting through here. And then I might even take out this window and put a row right up to the door. And I could even stick one here in the corner, even though I would probably not. And I'd probably even like to leave this vent open. So if it was going to cover up the vent, I would stop right in here somewhere. But that would give us a pretty large area for making more stuff, because we have to use this vegetables here when we're making stuff. But the other thing it hasn't unlocked yet is the phytoplankton. So we're going to be limited on what we could do. Okay, did I explain that pretty well? Of course, if this is the first time you've played it, that might still be a mystery to you. Alright, now like I said in the last episode, we need to go up here collecting and taking with us the materials that we would need to put or place at least one, if not two, T2 ore extractors. I tend to call them ore drills, but the game calls them ore extractors. And the reason for that is there's some better ores up here in this. It's not really a cave because it's got more than one way in or out. And of course we threw some stuff down. Figured we'd pick it up later if we needed it. So now we go back into this cave. And if we go back far enough, look up at the top, and you see you got the osmium laying up there. So this is where you'd want to put it. Now I do recommend that you, since we're going to be, this is the one we've got unlocked right now, that you put this in here in such a way that you could put one facing it. And we would have to put it right there. And then if we put another one in here, it would be face to face. So we got to turn it around, and there we go. They're linked together. Now, since it's a T2, we cannot select. It tells us what we will harvest here. Plus, we'll get some raw materials. Or I shouldn't say raw materials. I should say basic ores. Okay, now we've melted the ice, so we've got yeah, we've melted enough of it. And then we could go through here. We've been through here before, you remember? And we put up face to face T2 so we can start collecting all this. And as you can see, we got quite a bit. Usually in this game, this is plenty. And you'll have your drones come out here collecting everything. Once that little wheel shows up right here, because we have a drone station. And we've got a future frog pond right there. You won't find these where, if you know something about frogs, you won't find these where you might expect to find them. And you could put in more of these if you want to, but normally 2 is plenty. And you might even want to replace those later with the T3 ore extractor. Alright, so let's go back and let's go to the other tunnel. Exit and entrance depending on how you're using it. Okay, now there isn't one all across this way, I don't believe. Because we've got a ceiling that's cutting that off. But there is one over here. See, there's the one we went through just a minute ago. And this is the other one that takes you right out into the aluminum, or excuse me, sulfur fields. And then of course on the other side of that is what I call the sandstorm wall, where we picked up some super alloy that was laying on the ground. Then we found a little cave. It was a true cave because it only had one way in or out, and it also would not allow us to put a drill down. So as you can see, all of this is meant to provide shortcuts. So if you go back in and you take the other entrance or exit, depending on how you're using it, we have a couple of more tunnels that allow us to go to the left or straight ahead. So if we go to the left, we've got this one here. Of course you could, wait until you get over this water and come in this way. And it's got a dividing line in here, but it's still going to come out the same spot. Because I don't think there's, we're all closed off with a roof, so there is, I don't think, another way to get out of here. It all comes to this point right here. And we've got a rainstorm going on right now. And if you look down here, go down far enough, remember, well, I don't know if you remember or not, but this used to be an active volcano. And now it's all filled in water. And remember that guy we found that got crushed by a rock? Well, he's been a busy guy while he was alive. He built another underground shelter. And there it is right there. So you could go in there and you could look around, but remember, we're underwater now. And I do believe it'll let us collect just about anything we find in here. But you gotta monkey around with your, get close enough. And there's another blueprint. It's not telling us what it is, but we definitely want to collect it, because we'll unlock something. But it won't let us take this pole or that one. And it kind of looks like, but you're going to need oxygen when you come down in here, because we're underwater. And then you grab all these goodies. Then you grab the locker itself. You come over here and you can read. And he says he's going to make another base higher on the crater rim. So we're inside the crater right now. I told you this was the lava pit, didn't I? No, it's the crater for a meteor strike, a big one. And he's saying where he's gonna do it. He's giving you the coordinates. This is telling you the elevation. The center number is elevation. If I remember right, this is east and west, and this is north and south. And he's talking about the fog will fade away soon. And the fog he's talking about, if we came here before the rains got busy, would be like more like a sandstorm. And there's no false walls in here. You gotta get kind of close and hesitate. Yeah, there's no false walls. And now it says we could take this table, but I've already got one in my inventory. Let's see, which one is it? I think it's whoops, I need to go down. Is it this one or this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, it is. And you start the game with that. So even though this turned red when you change your options, you cannot harvest it if you've already got it in your inventory. Okay, now if we keep going across here like this, burning up our oxygen recharge cylinders, eventually we'll probably find another blue crater too. Yep, there's one right there. And now we're almost full. And if we had oxygen fully restored, which we don't, in order to recharge our oxygen supply in our tank, we would just have to go up. Like so. And stay up long enough for our tank to recharge. But you've also got this little island where you could do the same thing. And if I remember right, there's a frog pond here. Yeah, right down there. I have a tendency to think of these as a frog nest. And we've got so we could drink water from anywhere. But we'd never get thirsty anymore playing creative mode. And there's another one right there. Okay, now we were just right over here. So now let's go this way. And I'll add with my pinky the shift key so we go a little faster. Because I think there's another chest in here. Well, they don't call them chests, they call them crates. Sometimes you have to look behind you because the rock or something is hiding it from you when you're approaching from this direction. Well, let's see, our inventory is kind of full already, isn't it? Yeah, so I guess this would be really a waste of time, wouldn't it? There's some up here on the banks also. I don't know if we can see any from here or not. I don't think that's one. But there are some there on the upper lip. Alright, how much have we got in our inventory? Well, we still got 3 slots left. Okay, we're about out of time anyway, if we're going to keep these down to one around an hour long. So let's jetpack our way up here. And we want to head off in that direction. Actually, I guess it'd be that direction. Now you can go across the rim like this, and they're trying to drop a hint to you that, you see these archways? They're trying to drop a hint that there's stuff to be found over there. Blue crates for sure, then later on there will be, once we start making critters, there'll be critters we can pet, because none of them are aggressive. And we would pet them primarily so we can get more genetic traits, so we can make some more critters. Right now, all of that out there looks pretty much like a desert. Later on, it'll look more like a gigantic lake, like Lake Erie. Since all the water is drinkable, we're assuming it's not salt water, so we wouldn't call it an ocean. Of course, if we go this way, we keep going that way, we'll get to the lake that's right out in front of our base of operations. Now you can climb up or down these mountains flying sideways like this, but if you touch the mountain, see what happens? You start falling, so you have to double click on your space bar again. And if you don't do it soon enough, double slap your space bar, then you might break a leg. You'll hear a crunching sound. And you'll notice that your health and hunger has gone down significantly. Alright, this I believe is where we need to cut over. This will provide us a way to get back to our main base of operations. And we'll probably see a couple more blue crates along the way. I like to keep these rocks pretty close, or these rock walls, should I say, pretty close. Yep, there's one of the crates. We could only take 3 things, so I've already taken some stuff out of here. So I'll take that, that, and that. I've already organized it, so that tells me I've already visited that crate once before and took some stuff out of it. Whenever you find the crate for the first time, it will not be organized. And there's our famous tree, which provides the visual aid to tell us there's an opening right here we can fly through. And there's one of our recharge stations that's still above water. And we've dumped off some stuff here. And there's our main base right across the pond. Or should we call this a lake? And if you look right there, there's our pillar rock with one leaning over on it, which a lot of people call an archway. To give you a clue, because our pod is still down there in the water, our escape pod that crashed, that you want to get at least this high. That way this lake will never get any deeper, and you won't have to worry about your stuff going underwater. Alright, did we bring something back that we would want to put on the outside? Yeah, we did. We brought back a few things. But of course, this is what I want to see. What do we unlock? That one's got a little bit of a priority. There's our decoration. And we want to unlock and see what we get. A vehicle T2 speed increase. Now, I don't know. That's something I might not mess with. Let's see, we did recall our vehicle. Yeah, we did. Well, it probably didn't empty it yet either. We probably kind of forgot all about that. Well, it's not that much in there. But I'm going to go ahead and put the like items that we've already got in there, so that when we organize it, they'll all be, and we can grab them all at the same time instead of making multiple trips. Oh wait a minute, we got some more aluminum right here. organize it. But you see the way the game organizes stuff, that's the same way I want to organize stuff. Now if in doubt, I would put all these oddball things over here, at least one of them anyway, so that the game could tell me how I should be organizing all of my goodies. Well, we've already got one seat back. They tend to put all the seat backs together. Now organize it. And this is how I want to arrange my lockers. Now I don't have everything in here, so I'm not getting a full display. In fact, I need to add the oxygen bottle and see where the oxygen bottle shows up. It's not exactly alphabetical. It kind of comes close to being alphabetical if you look at the first letter of the noun that describes what the item is. But anyway, that'll give you an idea how you want to organize your lockers. Okay, oh, we went over, haven't we? Yeah, we've gone over by about 10 minutes already. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and end it now from here. And until we have drones, we're not going to do too much with those rockets, since it gets kind of tedious to fill them by hand, so to speak. Alright, so let's hit the old escape key and save it. And that's finished. Go to main menu. And now it's time to say be well until next time.